G'day, Maze and me. How are you? It is Hogmanay today, which is the day before New Year's in Scotland. They tend to celebrate the day before instead of the day of. Well, I think most of us do. We're always hungover on the 1st. Not me, I don't drink, but that's how it is. Everybody celebrates more on the 31st than on the 1st. We're saying goodbye to the old, the things that we cannot change, the things that we can only learn from, and move on into the new, the uncharted waters where we can actually make any kind of effective change. It's exciting. I like New Year's. I like new beginnings. I like new things, new starts. And I thought, today I'm going to try a new look. I have the day off work. I don't have to go in today. And try something new and different. And have a little chat about like New Year's resolutions. Because I've got a couple that I'm going to partake. I do New Year's resolutions all the time. And most of them have stuck. Years ago, I gave up the whole thing of, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. Or I'm going to give up something dramatic and, I'm going to give up sugar. Very hard to give up sugar. Very, very hard. If you're going for that goal, I wish you well. I really, really do. It's so hard. But I found that those types of very big goals, they don't work for me in the long run unless I have a whole bunch of supporting habits in order to make it work. And that's what a lot of people need to consider. If you're going to make that big goal, I'm going to quit smoking, I'm going to quit drinking, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, whatever it might be. In order to make your life better, you need to consider what things you're going to do to support that goal. So it's a multi-layered kind of thing. I'm going to try a fun look with my Dramo palette. This is Moon Season. So I'm going to use my Dramo palette. I really want to focus on this. And it doesn't show it, but it's kind of a very lilac-y gray. And I want to mix that with Boxing Bender from the Glaminatrix Merry Chrissy palette. Because I think they'll look very nice together. But I also want to use my Dramo lipstick. Now this one is a matte formula, which is a nice long-lasting one. I mean, I actually really like the formula, but I'm not a huge matte fan. But you can see it is also the same kind of lilac gray color. And you can kind of blot it, diffuse it. It's got that silicone-y mud kind of texture that's very popular in a lot of the Asian beauty. And then I wanted to use the Boxing Bender on top because that Boxing Bender shade looks lovely on lipstick. Just lovely. And you only need the barest tap. And it's like Ice Robot. I just think it's going to look really fun. So let's have fun. That's what makeup's about. Having fun, having a play. So I put some moisturizer on. Did I just wipe that off? That's okay, we're all good. Let's see where we're at. I think I'll just start with getting my face sorted. You can see my yellow has come back. And here's a sign that I've had too much sugar. I've been watching a lot of videos recently of other people's, favorites of 2025. And I don't really I haven't used a whole, variety of things like a lot of YouTubers have. So I think a lot of my favorites, probably these lifter sticks. I've really, really enjoyed them. I've used them a whole lot more than I have than my first half of the year favorite, which was the Christian Dior foundation stick. These are a little more sheer. They don't feel as heavy. So I think if I wanted something with a lot more coverage, then I go with that Christian Dior one. but just an everyday sheer look. These have been fantastic for me. And I do have, you know, mature, dry skin. I'm not prone to breakouts or anything like that. I tend to get the dry, flaky, crusty skin problems, especially like right here on my nose. I blow my nose fairly often, so I end up with dry bits here and a bit here under my lip. Addresses one problem. Let's add a little of that Charlotte Tilbury Unreal Skin. That's just a nice highlighter. Face gloss. It's not a foundation. That's what it's called, but it's not a foundation. I have 3 shades of this. So this is that one that I've just put on. That's like the skin matte shade. Then I have one that's a bit lighter that I'll use just here. Get my hair out of it. Come on. Like under where I would contour. Just a bit here. That'll just give me that illusion of a cheekbone. I did do a video about what my New Year's resolutions were going to be, but I found my energy was a bit blah through the whole thing, and it didn't come across as convincing that I was enthusiastic about it. I don't know, my mood just wasn't in it, and it came across in the video, so I thought, I'm not sharing that one. I'll try again. But the thing I've settled on this year is I want to clear clutter in my house, because we've always had since we got married, and it's been 30 years of marriage now, we would move house about every 5 to 10 years, because, you know, we would buy a new property and upgrade. Needed, you know, had another child, needed an extra bedroom, we'd move again. Somebody raised the rent, or we didn't like where we were when we got to Australia, so we moved. So it's on average, it's been about, you know, we'd say about every 7 years we were moving. But we bought this house in 2013, and we haven't moved since. So this is the longest we've stayed in the same place, which is crazy. But we still have, you know, we still get that kind of, it's time to move house. What are we doing? We have to move. It's a weird, you know, time limited kind of behavior. But we've also accumulated, you know, 13 years of new stuff that is starting to weigh us down. So we need to do a bit of a clear out, which, you know, moving house was always really good at, because I wasn't going to move house with stuff I wasn't going to keep. So it was, first we'd have the big purge, and then we'd have the big pack. And I don't have that cycle at the moment to go through. So I have to do, you know, what everybody else does normally, and have a spring clean. I think that's all right. I'll do any other kind of contouring and blushes and stuff later. So I'm going to go, I just want to get right into the eye look. Use the NYX eyeshadow primer. So I don't want to have one big purge like I've, you know, in a panic, like I've had to do whenever I was moving house. I don't have to. I have the luxury of taking my time and doing it, and hopefully in the process building in a new habit of regularly pruning out things that aren't of use to us anymore, but are probably of use to somebody else. Whether it's clothes, books, I've got a couple of pots and pans, a couple of bits of crockery that can go. So I've found that where I work on a Sunday, there's a donation drop box on my way in. So I felt, you know, that's very convenient. It's very easy on my way to work. If I had a small bag of 5 to 10 items that I could just, you know, bundle in, whether it's 5 books, items of clothing, old kids' toys, whatever it could be, pack them in, and on my way to work, drop them in the donation box, job done. And I figure over the year, that'll be 52 donations. Hopefully it would help considerably clear out the excess things that I've got in my house that we aren't using. So that's what I'm going to do. To support the habit, I'll go through my room or rooms, take one thing out of the kitchen, one thing out of my bedroom, one thing out of my bathroom. If I'm struggling to find things, I'm sure I can find in the beginning, you know, 5 things in the kitchen, 5 things in the closet, 5 things in different areas that can go. I'll probably find it easy in the beginning and harder later on, but just take it a section of the home at a turn. If I see something like, yeah, that can go, that can go. Books are probably going to be a easy one because I'm clearing out a lot of actual like books. I can't read books anymore. My eyesight's gotten to a stage where reading an actual book it gives me headaches. It's very uncomfortable. So I moved to an e-reader. I have a Kindle app on my iPad, and that's what I've used now for the past 3 years. I haven't bought a new book, and I've definitely not opened any books in that time. And I don't think I need to. So that's going to be the big thing. We're going to purge out the books. I'm going to purge out my books. I'm not going to tell anybody else that they can't have their books. But I'm going to purge my books out. And I'll have space on my bookshelves for other things that I might want to have instead. So I'm just going to dip into the Dremo shade here. The individual shades don't have names on them. Just know that it's the light, it's the purple leaning gray on the top. And I just want to put that all over the eye. I hope you can see it does look more purpley. Probably my walls are purple too, so it kind of matches in. This is just a ColourPop brush I bought as a set. I think I bought these last year when they were all on sale. I was also watching a few videos of people who are making their predictions for what's going to come up next year, and I always find that funny. Like, you just can't predict what the trends are going to be. And then I'm always like, well, some things you could probably predict in the sense that I was around, 20 years ago, and I saw trends that would come back in their cycles. So what would be coming back this time? And then even go back 100 years, what was happening in the 1920s that could be looked at as a resurgence. There's a hair in my eyelash. I'll tell you what's kind of stuck out to me in more recent years is there has been a downturn in creative ingenuity. New ideas, new concepts. I think since the smartphones have come around, that's where a lot of the innovations have come. It's been in technology. Technology's been the big thing. But it's on such like small scale. There's new apps all the time. There's new gimmicks, new websites, new things like that. Actual science ingenuity is what's kind of down. I would like to see that return. But the only way that's going to happen is if people put down their phones, step away from their computer, step away from that technology, and let themselves get bored enough that the brain fires up and starts finding creative things to do. We've forgotten how to be bored. And boredom is really what stokes creativity. You got to be bored. Now, I say this knowing that I am talking to a piece of modern technology that I will then upload to another piece of modern technology and edit on apps of modern technology and then share on a platform that is all modern technology. I get that. I totally do. So where are we going to find that creative spark. Where is that going to be? Well, just looking at what we're doing right now, I'm talking to technology alone in my room. I am alone talking to you, and you are probably alone watching this. And we're having a one-sided conversation at this point. Get into the comments, we can have a more interactive conversation, but bringing back community, interaction. And all the introverts are probably just going, ooh, don't want that. Ooh, can't. People, oh, I get it. I get it. I went to the grocery store today. I absolutely get it. New Year's Eve at the grocery store. 100%. Would not recommend. By the way, if you hear strange noises, my husband's watching a Western on television right now. He got a couple of old black and white Jimmy Stewart Westerns for Christmas, and he's watching those with a big bowl of popcorn. I'm not a fan of Westerns, so I've left him to it, and he is delighted, and I am here doing my thing, and I'm doing something that delights me. Therein lies the secret to our happy marriage. He did go to the grocery store with me on New Year's Eve. And he hates crowds. He hates crowds. He hates the grocery store. The whole thing is a stress bomb for him. And yet he's like, but I like your company. It's sweet. So do I have solutions on how things are going to, other than, put the tech away, even for an hour. Give yourself an hour to be bored without anything else. Don't use electricity. I mean, don't freeze to death or anything like that, but you know what I mean. Let yourself be bored. I mean, do you not remember being a bored kid? I mean, are kids allowed to be bored anymore? I let my kids be bored. I actually insisted on it. I was pretty strict about TV time and all of that when they were very little, until they hit high school, and then it becomes harder to monitor that kind of thing. And I figured I'm not going to fight it. They're probably exhausted from school anyway. School is pretty full on over here. This is my ride or die. I love this Palmer's cocoa butter. And I love the shape of it because it doesn't roll off my bedside table. It doesn't roll off anything. It stays where you put it. It's the best. All of them should be like that. Now, just for the cohesiveness of the look, I'm just going to put the lippy on. And you can see they are very close in color. There you go. So it's just one of these like little silicone squishy tip things. And it just kind of blurs the edges. Now, I know. This on its own is kind of weird for a 54-year-old lady to be shown. I get it, okay? I'm not trying to be something I'm not. I'm really not. And that on its own is just kind of, weird looking. I get it. But I just want to have it there so that when I get on with everything, it all comes together. Fingers crossed. Trust the process, they say. Found this, I've got my Cheery Up palette here, and it's got this very, very light gray. And it is a matte. Yes, it is. It is a matte. It's certainly lighter than the other gray. So I kind of just, okay, there you can see it is white. I want to kind of buff that edge. So I was talking about trends, things that could be a trend. I had an idea today, and I thought, I saw somebody do a look. I don't know if I can remember where it was, and if I do, I'll try and share a picture of it and a link. But it was a woman had done a really nice eyeshadow look. Now, I'm not into all the graphic liner stuff. I don't have the patience, for one. I don't have the patience. I think when other people do it, it looks fantastic. But I don't have the patience to, if I wore something like that, it would simply melt off of my face within a few hours. Most of the time, I don't care. I don't care. A graphic look like that would be a disappointment after all of the effort and work to put into creating it. So when I see some of the goth girlies putting on their beautiful gothic eyeliner and scroll work and shave off their eyebrows and do new eyebrows, I think it looks fantastic. And I wish them all the artistic whimsy available in the world for them, because it looks awesome. I'm not going to do any more than that. I might deepen it later. I should never say I won't do anything else, because I always touch it more. So yes, and I have used some money and I have made a few purchases for birthday presents. So I don't have anything to hand at the moment, but they are en route. Now I made a Glaminatrix order of a few singles, so a couple of their shimmer singles, and I did get a single of the Boxing Day Bender, so that I can definitely keep this one with eyeshadow looks in the palette. The other one I can use for lips, and I don't have any cross-contamination. When I was in Melbourne, I'd forgotten that I had picked up this blue ocean colored mascara. It comes in a solid cake like that, and I'd forgotten I'd bought it until I was wrapping up presents for Christmas, and I found it in the bottom of the bag. I was like, oh yeah, there's that thing that I bought. Completely forgot about it. So what I thought, but what they had offered me, apparently it comes with different mascara wands, and I said, don't worry about it, I've got some at home. And I do, I've got all these silicone ones here. I thought I'll just use those, and they were like, oh, okay. I thought, well, how do I get it wet? It's supposed to be water activated. I mean, obviously you just get some water and activate it. But then I thought, what if I use my mascara primer that helps with the curl? Wouldn't that make it work really well? And I did try it, and I liked it. So let's have a go. But that, of course, means that this mascara primer is now permanently blue. So one of the things I did order, again, was 2 more of those. So you can buy them in a bundle on Yes Style. You can get 2 of them for $16. So you just kind of give it a wee twisty go, and it gets all on there. There you go, it gets all on there. And I haven't curled my lashes. And this also works as an eyeliner, so even if it gets on the top bits, like it almost always does, I can just tap it in with a brush and it'll add to the eye look. So I think it works quite well with this. And it's more of a cornflower blue than a lot of the other blue ones that you see, and it's that like Camaro royal blue. Oh, don't stick it in your eye. Okay, next time I think I will curl my lashes first. It doesn't, I was testing just to see if this stuff is supposed to be a curl fixer, but it's better if you curl them first. So if you're like me and you've got eyelashes that go down the way and don't hold a curl at all, that Mr. Fixer is pretty good. So curl your lashes and then fix it with this first before you put your mascara on. But we're just having fun today. Maybe just on the tails? Yeah, you can do that in your eyebrows as well. I think I might try and get the black one of this as well. It's called Orca. Gosh, if they had a gray one, this combo would be awesome for eyebrows. Just putting a little bit through. Why not? Like I said, I'm not going anywhere. Ooh, there's a Tom Bosley needing a trim. Kooky, right? But not terrible. It's fun. It almost looks navy on my eyebrows. So if you've got darker eyebrows, imagine that in like a strip through the hair. Remember hair mascara? That was very trendy in the early 2000s, wasn't it? Wasn't that what that song was like? The girl with 5 colors in her hair, and then it was like all the hair mascaras came out then. Maybe there's a trend that's gonna come back. Oh, what was I going? I was talking about that earlier. Anyway, the girl with the look. She did a bit of a, not a graphic, but it was like an eyeshadow shape around the outside of her eye, and she just lightly blended it in. And then she had a bit of negative space, and then just a bit of color on her eye, and I thought, that's what's gonna be, that's the thing. Not covering every space, but having a design with negative space. And that's, you know, something that we do in painting and artwork, and, you know, trying to use your negative space as your contrast. I'm like, somebody using negative space in their eye looks, it was fantastic. I really, really liked it. So that's me coming back around to where I was talking before. Sorry about that. I'm just going to dip back into that super lighter, whitish gray again and just brighten that top bit. Completely ignoring any negative space I may have had. Little down here. So now I want to get into the boxing bender. I'm going to put it on the lip first, just to show you how it can transform this. So I did go on their website, the Glaminatrix website, and copy out the ingredients list. And check for, you know, any kind of toxicity that they might say is not suitable for ingestion. Because this is an eye product, it's not meant to be on the mouth, but there's absolutely nothing in it that's going to harm you if it's on your mouth. Can we see the difference now? So it went from that porpoise gray color to this. And it still keeps the soft, moussey texture. I'm going to do the same thing on my eyes. I'm just going to use my finger. And yes, I wiped and cleaned my finger off on a wet wipe. Transfer, cross-contamination. I don't usually like to use my finger just because my fingers are very imprecise tools. Oops, 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 oops. And I don't like to dig into things. Ooh. I feel like a spaceman. Sorry, I found I had to clean it off. Oh gosh, I wish I could show this off properly. What happens? Some of the, like, if you dim out some of the light, if I just keep it to the 1. Does that help? It's not quite, you know, corpse bride. It's just a bit of fun. Just a bit of fun. Putting my lights on. I'm going to try this contour. I've had it for quite a while. I think I bought it back in March on the recommendation from several people that the Intuition one from Ritual Defy is a beautiful, cool toned contour. But it always looks wrong on me. But maybe with this look it'll be okay. I try and use so little of it because it doesn't take much, and it's like, boom, there's my whole face. Covered, feels like. Is there any of that coming off? Maybe I dried it out too much. Oh, there it is. Okay, I think I let it dry off a little too much on the top. Just dab on there. I have used it as an eye contour a few times, just as a like an eyeshadow base. Not that bad for that. Gosh, I still feel like I used just a ton of it. I'll just get the that one that's very silvery. And then maybe a blush will come forward. That makes sense. Or maybe I don't need any. Maybe this is enough. I need a